Okay, are we on? Well, listen, we're going to have a class here on the cults. And I don't actually have a catalog in front of me to get the exact description of the catalog, but essentially we're going to deal with cults and new religious movements, because sometimes it's hard to know whether to call something a cult or a religious movement, or some scholars who are working in counter cults even think that maybe Mormonism may eventually not be defined as a cult, because it's actually become a world religion with its own characteristics that make it difficult to call it a cult. It's more it's an organization that has its own system of religious thought, like Buddhism or Hinduism or something. It's very large. Anyway, the terminology is difficult, but we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. What is a cult? How do you define one? And let's look at the syllabus. Introduction to cults, confronting cults in light of Scripture. Now you can see my name, Dr. H. Wayne House, Distinguished Professor of Biblical and Theological Studies at the Seminary. Course description: a review and analysis of the history and teachings of many popular North American cults, such as the LDS Church, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Unification Church, the Way International, various New Age groups. There's really a number we'll look at, and more even than I've written here. The course procedure will be to examine the nature of cults, the reasons for their success, then to examine the doctrines of the various cults from primary source material. A biblical response will then be made to each area in which the cults differ with Orthodox and Christian beliefs. The cults that we will cover in class is, let's see, let me see your syllabus a second. I think you have my revised one, yes you do. And I have my old one, but I'll just jump in. The two books for the class is a book by H. Wayne House, Charts of Cults, Sects, and Religious Movements, put out in Zondervan in the year 2000. And then another book by H. Wayne House and Gordon Carl called Doctrine Twisting. And I'm sorry I don't have another one to give you, but I'm actually working on it. And you'll be experiencing some of it this quarter, because I'll be giving you some pages from the earlier draft of, it's not complete. I'm still even trying to work on the outline and thinking about reorganizing it. So you're getting the early draft of the textbook on the cults that will be coming out with Baker Bookhouse. I'm also doing right now an encyclopedia on the cults for Baker Bookhouse that will be out this next year. So it's an area that I have some familiarity with. The topic of cults is very important because we're inundated everywhere you go. And I go down to Tonga particularly. The Mormons have spent $20 million in the last 2 years building buildings and stuff down in this little South Sea island. That's more than the economy. That's more than GNP there. And they spent $40 million in the last few years. And they even built a temple there. They're becoming a major issue in the United States as well as others. People considering Christian group, and a lot of people can't distinguish between that and Jehovah's Witnesses and other groups. So, in the reading, there are also maybe some additional handouts that I give to you, besides what I've given to you tonight. Issues and cults to be covered. I said issues we will discuss. What is a cult? Why are people attracted to cults? How cults hold sway over their people, how to minister to cults, cult people. Various cults we talk about. I mentioned even Baha'ism, which, by the way, is not a cult of Christianity. It's a cult of, anybody know? Islam. Islam, yes, a cult of Islam. But it also brings in Christianity in some of its thinking. It's a syncretistic religion, which includes everybody. But we won't say a lot about them. But Children of God, what is now called the Family of Love, and we'll deal with them a little bit, mainly because we're such a unique and strange group. Christian Identity Movement, which is made up of usually racist organizations like Aryan Nations and Skinheads and all these groups. They have a church. Actually, what's so strange about the Christian Identity Movement is that most things are very orthodox theologically. It's strange, but they're really off in some areas. The Church of Christ, Scientist, which Walter Martin used to say they're neither, called Christian scientists, they're neither Christian nor are they scientists. So it's a misnomer. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, obviously the Mormons. You notice today, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints put Jesus Christ in all caps. I guess trying to make them seem more Christian. If you look at your signs and so forth, they're all big caps in the middle. Freemasonry, which is a strange group, is common. Anybody have any idea what that is?
What is it?
It's down here. ISKCON.
Oh,
Called also Hare Krishna,
no.
which is a Hindu cult. Jehovah's Witnesses, the local church. You familiar with the local church? A guy by the name of Witness Lee, who was a disciple of Watchman Nee in China, started this group. They also are very litigious. If you say anything about them that they don't like, they try to sue you. What they do, they have a very interesting strategy because they'll have every single local church everywhere to file suit. So you're being sued for maybe 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 different people. And all with lawsuits. They try to bury you with legal work. Very litigious. Seventh-day Adventism, which is a quasi-cult, somewhat. There's an evangelical wing that's not cultist. There is a non-evangelical wing that is still cultist. And so you have to differentiate that. Unification Church, that's Reverend Moon, sometimes called Mooneyism. He is the Messiah. Now we find out Jesus failed, so he took over. United Pentecostal Church, which is a modalistic, self-evangelistic, oneness, Jesus only, different terms for that. The Way International, very popular back in the 70s and 80s, but nonetheless cultish. Worldwide Church of God, by the way, which now, the reason I include them here is not because they are now a cult. They actually have ceased to be a cult. And I think it's important to look at what they believe and how they changed their belief and why. And it's an interesting study. And Scientology, which is also a litigious group, but made up of a lot of people who are well known. Kirstie Alley and Tom Cruise and all sorts of people. John Travolta. A lot of these people are in there. Course sessions. Tonight, Thursday night, Friday night, all Saturday, and that will be 3 separate times this way. Okay? And go through this material. Course assignments. Here's the fun part. I did put down here 1. You must witness to a cult member and bring them to Jesus to make a grade. Okay. I haven't written that in here yet, but you have to win someone to Christ and disciple them and get them out of the group. Is that okay? That's your assignment. You can do
using
that.
any method of course you can.
Or you pay them enough.
Yeah, pay them.
No, actually, if you did that, you deserve your grade. Dr. Rodmacher used to start at Western Seminary in his class in sociology. You actually had to bring someone to Christ, and his ecclesiology is basically almost like start a church. I mean, he had all these assignments like that. I didn't find time to do that, I don't know. But read the class text and handouts. That's pretty obvious. Develop a presentation on a cult. This presentation should include lecture notes. See, what I'm wanting to do is see your work product. I'm wanting to see your actual work and how you got to what you got. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to see only the conclusion and the product you hand in. I want to see the means to the conclusion. So I want to see your lecture notes, your handouts, and overhead transparencies. Or if you have a PowerPoint presentation, you can give it to me in a printed out form or on a disk or something. This will be due within 2 weeks after the end of the course. I suggest you start it now. 3, write an 8 to 10 page paper analyzing, interacting with the cult. Cult of your choice. Find one you want to work with, and you need to analyze what they believe and interact with what they believe. See if you understand them well enough to answer them. This should reflect significant, interaction there, with the cult's literature and orthodox biblical and theological works. I expect you to use the school library. And Mount Angel. By the way, in your boxes soon, you will find a library card.